is your family still in the Newman area, or are they kind of spread out? Okay.
Yes, all of my family is in the Newman area, and then I still have one sister that is in Guadalajara.
Okay.
And she resides out there. Other than that, my whole entire family is around me.
Okay. So how did that sister? Did she stay in Mexico? Or did she come into UNS and then go back? Or
So we all actually migrated here into the United States, and then she ended up at 22 marry somebody from the government out in Mexico.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So she's balling out there.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Probably a lot more than we are out here. So she ended up going back to Guadalajara, raised her family, and then she's still out there, and my nephews, and, they're out there as well.
Yeah. You made a good point, because, a lot of people think that Mexicans are just poor and they just want to do this and all that, because the Mexicans that come here, obviously they're looking for opportunity.
Yes.
Because in Mexico, they don't have the best opportunity.
Correct.
But if like the Mexicans that are doing well in Mexico are actually doing very well, and they don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly.
So I guess talk a little bit about that, because you said your sister married somebody that was in politics, you said?
They're in politics.
Okay, so the politicians are pretty much the most powerful people in Mexico, right?
They are the power.
Yeah. So can you describe, just for the listeners out there that think Mexicans are just, whatever they see here, talk about the successful politicians, or like what your sister's life is kind of like in Mexico.
So her life, when we were here, we've always been from labor workers, right?
Yeah.
Farm workers.
Yeah.
That's what my parents came here. And they migrated to the United States for that reason. So we were in a small town where they were pretty much raised in poverty.
Right.
My parents were from a rancho. So at that point, they're out in the cuts. They don't have any electricity. They don't have any running water. They have to go down to the river. So in order for them to migrate to the United States was to make a better living for their children.
Right. Yes.
So once we came out here, we adapted to, society in the United States.
Americanized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now it's hard for us to go back.
Yeah.
But since my sister came at an older age, she was already about 15, maybe between 15 and 17. She came out here, she couldn't really adapt as well.
She was already very Mexican.
Yes. So then now she ended up meeting her husband here. And he ends up having businesses and in politics. And the society that they're in over there, it's a totally different high society.
Yeah.
And who it's really what you associate.
I watch Narcos.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I love
Not really.
Narcos.
Yeah.
The A-list, A-listers.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much for the podcast.
Exactly. Like, what happened to Maria? She just disappeared. I don't know, right?
Exactly. Or she's running it.
Oh,
They're like,
boss
"What do you mean?
lady.
The boss
Don't put my
lady.
face
The boss lady.
Yeah,
No, so the society out there is, if you're in the high class society, you're living the wealthy life.
Yeah.
They have a 3-story house. The top story is all a gym, a sauna.
Wow.
They have drivers. They own businesses. So, their life out there, it would be something out of like a movie here.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome.
So they get to travel. They're all over the world. It's something that they don't need to leave that type of world in order for them to find a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
They're comfortable where they're at.
Yeah. And so I know a little bit about that, because my father is from Mexico. My father's from a little pueblo. It's called Tierra Nueva. It's for about 45 minutes outside of San Luis. But if you go to San Luis Potosí, I felt like I was in San Jose.
Yeah.
Like, there's Walmart, Costco, everyone's driving Mercedes. I'm like, you feel like you're in the Bay Area, except everybody speaks Spanish.
Correct.
And I'm just like, wait a minute. But then you drive 45 minutes to my dad's little pueblo, and people are still on horses, and like the roads are not even paved. Like, and it's crazy. But like you said, in a small town, you either own a business. There's no jobs. Like, there's no Apple Corporation. It's like, if you have a job, you're either working hard on the farm, or you're breaking rocks, making like $7 a day.
Yes.
So $7 an hour is like 8 times more than you're making in Mexico, right?
Correct.
So those people will come here for a better opportunity for their family. Because, for us, we may think, $7 an hour, that's nothing. You can't live off of that. But for them, to come here and make 8 times what they're making in Mexico, and then send money back to their family, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But I want people to understand too, there's Mexicans that are very successful, very wealthy, and they don't need to leave Mexico. Like, they have a beautiful life there.
The ones that are leaving their countries, and trying to get a better life are the ones that are in poverty.
Right.
And the ones that are, pretty much if you don't work for somebody, you're going to die.
Exactly.
I mean,
right.
if you don't go and grow your own vegetables or kill your own animals, then you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
So what they do is they'll rather sacrifice, leave everything behind for a better future for their, children.
And I'm grateful for that too, because, obviously both of our parents left Mexico. My father, in the town they were okay. They weren't like, super poor, but him and his brothers wanted something better, right? So they all left for the United States, and this is like in the 70s. So like, in the 70s it was pretty easy, right? You know what I mean? It's a funny story. I don't know if this is true, but my uncle said, because he was illegal in the 70s, working in the passport office, stamping passports, and he didn't even have one, right? He's like, approved, and he's like, looking around like, I don't even have one of these passports, But
everybody's approved.
Estrada, approved, right? Gonzalez, approved. Medina, approved, right? White?
Nope.
Let's check that one out, right? Yeah, just kidding, right?
In California?
Yeah.
Where was he working at?
He was working here.
Here?
I don't know exactly here, but it's California, Bay Area, California. So anyways, just funny stories of, before like 9/11 is what kind of changed everything, right? And all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that real quick because, I want people to understand out there that there's, it's not just all what they see. And
correct.
This is not a political podcast, and I don't like to get into politics, but there's a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of division, a lot of demonizing, immigrants and stuff like that. And it's just ridiculous because,
and they don't realize that we're all human, right?
Yeah.
So we all want a better future.
Exactly.
And luckily they were blessed enough to be born in the United States. That doesn't mean that other people are going to come here to try to take anything away from them.
Exactly.
So that's where a lot of people, I think, get that wrong. But I mean, we are all here to try to make a better living for everyone that we are in contact with.
Yeah, there's more for everybody.
Exactly.
Abundance.
Exactly.